Welcome to the One Step Wealthier podcast, where I help you to get a little bit better every day and to achieve your financial goals. Follow along with me, and every week we will talk about all things personal development and personal finance. Together, we can get one step wealthier. Good morning, everyone. Today, I wanted to create an episode that I wish I would have listened to 10 years ago when I thought investing was extremely complicated. So 10 years ago, I had no idea how to start investing. It felt like a secret club for men in suits, white men mostly, and it felt something that was really complicated that you had to be worried about constantly. You had to check the markets at all times, otherwise you would lose all the money. It felt like that for me. So if you ever thought that you're not smart enough, or if it's too late, you are exactly the kind of person this episode is for. First of all, you don't need to know everything to begin. So some people say, okay, if it's not perfect, if I don't find the perfect moment or the perfect investment, then I'm not going to invest yet. And perfectionism stops so many people, especially women. I think we have the imposter syndrome much more than the men. We are not ready to jump into something unless we are fully ready, fully equipped. And it is not like that. Investing is like learning to drive. You learn most by doing. So little by little, you will get through a few bumps along the way, but at some point you will see that the ride is actually quite smooth. So first things first, what you have to do is sort out your financial basics. Do you have any high interest debt? Any credit cards? Any loans? Excluding mortgages, anything that you would struggle to pay off or has high interest? Pay that off first. There's no point pouring into a bucket if the bucket has holes in it. So just make sure that those holes are fixed and then the bucket can fill up. Second is to build your emergency fund. And you should have an emergency fund from 1 to 3 months of expenses. This is just in case you lose your job, just in case you have some expenses, some urgent repairs, some personal issues, something that happens in your life that you would otherwise seek credit for. You should actually have that as a cushion. So 1 to 3 months is usually okay. If you're working, if you have a steady income. Hey, I just wanted to pause for a second and let you know that I made something for you. It's a free guide called Start Investing Without Freaking Out. I created it for women who want to invest but feel like it's not for people like us. It's a guide I wish I had 10 years ago, when I had no idea where to begin. Just click the link in my Instagram bio at One Step Wealthier or in the description below to grab it. Now back to the episode. And once you have that in place, so once you paid your debt and once you have built your emergency fund, then you're ready to start investing. So then you should open a tax-advantaged account. So for my UK listeners, consider a stocks and shares ISA. Not only consider, ISA is actually the best thing that there is, and stocks and shares ISA is exactly the same as the brokerage account. It's just that it is tax-free. So any gains, anything that you make in that account, you don't have to pay tax on. It's amazing, isn't it? I think ISA is the most amazing thing I've ever seen for tax advantage accounts because not even US has such a huge allowance. So imagine in the UK, you could invest 20,000 every tax year, completely tax-free. And that money can grow. And that growth is completely free of any sorts of tax. US has something similar. It's called Roth IRA. Please correct me if I'm wrong. And the limit is only $6,000. So the UK is great for investing, by the way. But unfortunately, not all countries have tax advantage accounts, which is okay too. It is okay to open a normal brokerage account with no tax advantages. I started investing in Spain and I opened an account with a platform called DEGIRO and another platform called Interactive Brokers, and they're both not tax advantaged. And I was okay as well because it is better to invest in a general brokerage account than not to invest at all. I mean, the tax that you will pay is going to be marginal in comparison to the gains that you will get. So you will still be better off investing in those accounts. So then once you have your brokerage account, so once you have your ISA, once you have your Roth, once you have your brokerage account, then choose a fund, an ETF, ideally if you're in Europe, and not a stock. So don't try to outsmart the market. Don't try to stock pick and pick the winners, but just choose general ETFs that would actually have those companies that you would pick anyway. But then if those companies go bust, then you're not as affected as you could be if you had the stock. For example, Tesla goes like a roller coaster. If it goes down completely, then you probably would lose a big chunk of money. But if you would have invested in S&P 500, NASDAQ, or FTSE All World, you would not even feel the loss of Tesla out of that fund. So ETFs are just a collection of different companies that you can invest in, and different ETF covers different industry or the market. So my favorite ones I've already mentioned is FTSE All World, which are more than 3,600 companies, I believe. And these are the most relevant, the biggest companies in the whole world. So basically you're purchasing the most relevant, profitable companies in the whole world. If the whole world goes bust, then you probably won't need the money anyway. So this is my winner ETF, and this is the ETF I like the most. And there are different companies making that ETF as well. So it really depends. If you would like some recommendations or some guidance on that, just feel free to message me and I can tell you which ones I invest in. Also, another one that I really like is the S&P 500. That's slightly less diversified because it's not in the whole world. It's just the US. So these are the 500 most relevant, biggest companies in the US. And the third index, the third ETF that I really like is NASDAQ. And these are the 100 most relevant technology companies in the US. We're talking about Apple, we're talking about Microsoft, Tesla, but in heavier amounts than the other ETFs. The other ETFs would have those companies anyway. So if you want to buy Apple, you could purchase either of those funds. Apple will be in it. You don't have to purchase an Apple stock. You can purchase Apple inside those ETFs. And with the funds, your money grows little by little across hundreds or even thousands of companies. So you're not going to get rich overnight and you're not going to hit the next Amazon and the next Tesla. Well, Tesla, no, forget about Tesla. You're not going to hit the next Apple. It's just that your money will grow little by little. There will be years that your money will go down, and that's perfectly normal in the markets. And there will be years that you will get really high returns. You can get minus 30% returns in recessions, or you can get plus 30% returns. But on average, it's usually 8 to 10% every year. But no years return exactly that 8 to 10%. It usually varies year by year. So you have to look at investing as something long-term, because you can't invest the money that you will need in the next couple of years. You have to really see if the market falls, then will I need that money? Will I have to sell? Maybe if I sell, then I will sell at a loss. But long-term, usually the markets go up. And investing is not about timing the market. It's about time in the market. You can't wait for the perfect moment to invest. The sooner you invest, the better, because you don't know what the market will do in the future. And nobody knows what the market will do in the future. If they claim that they know, they're lying to you, because nobody knows what the market will do. The market is very sentimental. It just goes up and down with some decisions, but you don't know what's going to happen. Nobody could predict COVID pandemic. Nobody could predict the 2008 crisis. Nobody could predict the Trump's tariffs volatility. Nobody can know what Trump will do in the next 6 months. There's no point in you speculating and thinking, oh, there will be a war, so I will wait. No, the history has shown that the sooner you invest, the better off you will be. And if you wait to invest, you might miss a big market jump and you will end up losing. Also, consistency is very important in investing. Make sure you automate your monthly contributions right after your payday. So when you get your paycheck, before spending and before paying everyone else, pay the future you first. Make regular transfers every month, and you can start small just to gain confidence in investing, just seeing how your money moves up and down. You can start from even 10, 20 or 50 pounds. You can start very, very small. You can stay consistent, and consistency beats intensity. If you develop that habit of investing every single month, then that will compound and that will grow. For example, me, investing is actually a non-negotiable every month. I actually factor investing as part of my expenses. I see my rent, my food costs, leisure costs, fun money, and investment money. I see it as a non-negotiable. I see it as kind of like a tax that a future me is demanding. And I remember one of my colleagues asked me, so where did you spend this and that? And I said, well, there is a lady in the future, 10 years from now, that she's very greedy. Her name is also Christina, and she's 10 years older than me, and she's super greedy, and she's demanding every month, she's demanding that I pay her £1,000. This is my future tax that I know that I will benefit from. And I want to equip the future Christina with the best resources possible. And that's my way in paying myself first before I pay everyone else. I also wanted to talk about some red flags in investing. And I see that constantly because I watch a lot of finance YouTube. I get a lot of adverts from finance gurus, trading gurus on how to build a great life trading in Cyprus, have a Ferrari and get rich overnight with just £1,000 and so on. Also crypto scams and also all the get rich quick nonsense, Ponzi schemes and so on. Please, please, please do not fall for them. My golden rule is if it sounds too good to be true. So if somebody is promising you a return of, £1,000 every week for just 500 invested or something like that, this is crazy. You will never ever get that sort of return. Stay out of it. You're not here to get rich quick. And if you are, maybe my podcast is not for you. You are here to get wealthy and get wealthy slowly, get wealthy step by step and stay wealthy. You're not here to get rich overnight. No. And if you're here to get rich overnight, be careful you don't fall for those scams because the people are preying on people like that, people who don't really have that much knowledge of investing and they think that, wow, if I invest 1,000, I will be a millionaire next year. No, you won't. Somebody else will be a millionaire using your money. So somebody will eventually become a millionaire, not you. So just a little wrap up of this episode. You don't need a finance degree to be able to invest. You just need to start. You need to start small. You need to start small, be curious. And if I go back and tell my younger self anything, it would be just start. Start messy, start small, but just start. And investing is not for white men in suits. Investing could be for you. You don't need to know a lot initially about investing. So thank you for listening. And if this episode resonated and you want to talk about your money journey, I'm opening a few free coaching spots. Just message me on Instagram, One Step Wealthier, or email onestepwealthier@gmail.com. So there's no pressure, just a chat. And I hope that my reflections have motivated you to start investing. Remember, the best time to invest was yesterday and the second best is today. And please note that I do not know your situation. I'm just your friend. And this is not individual financial advice. Please do your own research before making any financial decisions. You have just invested in your personal development by listening to this podcast. Thank you for being here and helping yourself to become one step wealthier. Don't forget to subscribe to access new content every week and to better yourself. Stay wealthy, and I hope that you have a wonderful day.